Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author while also traversing a world of multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around, but today we are going to be doing a February wrap-up and talking about my goals for the month of March, so let's get into it. Hey guys, today is February 27th. It is the last Friday of the month, and it's time to do our wrap up for how February went, and later talking about what my goals are for the month of March. So basically, we're just going to talk real quick about how I've been feeling lately. Lately, it's been really good, especially this last week. I've been feeling really, really good. I've been getting back into journaling and stuff. But I will admit this beginning part of the month was pretty rough for me. Strictly because I was going through a lot with my members of my system. So I'm a system. I have some sort of dissociative disorder. I know at one point I did an alter count, and I think there was like high 20s, early 30s, I think. I don't honestly remember. But the numbers have been decreasing. Not like decreasing as a bad thing, but there has been some fusions in our system. So three of our altars, one was kind of the head of the chapel, which we have a chapel in our head because we are so connected with our faith. We have always been connected to our faith, even whenever we did graduate high school and we had our falling out. Like, not falling out, but like when we did stop going to Mass, we still felt very connected to our Catholic faith. And then there is kind of a person that I guess people call them gatekeepers. It's the gatekeeper, like the first, like we have like three different levels of gatekeepers. This is the first level gatekeeper. He knew a lot of stuff. So did the one who was in charge of the chapel. Then there was our nighttime person who knew a lot of the things and knew how to communicate best with each altar. Those three have been fusing. We recently got to understand why they're fusing, just because there's a lot of healing going on. But it was really interesting to just get to the way that they showed us themselves was something so magical, like so beyond, like just so cool to see. And like we're not seeing like literal like visuals. It's more like we get vibes from each other in our head, and just see how like we can somewhat see, but also just feel like the gestures that everyone's making, kind of thing. And it was so cool. And the reason this was happening, like they were starting to fuse anyways, but they had to interrupt their fusing to come out. Strictly because, there was drama going on between Maris and another altar in our system. Maris is one of our pen names. She's been struggling a lot because of this one altar, and right now these two altars are, like, in separate holding rooms. One, unfortunately, kind of looks like a cell. The other one is in the chapel, just doing some thinking, doing some reflections. I personally can't go into those rooms and actually interact with them. That's something that only like their closest friends can do. But even then, like the body, I don't know how to put this, but like like I said, I can't go in and physically see what's going on. And like I call myself the narrator just because I see what's going on. But there's sometimes I'm not allowed into rooms because I usually speak out the truth. I guess that would make me the host, but I don't feel like I'm the host. I don't like that word. But yeah, I don't get to see what's happening. Sometimes we'll journal about it. Like I know, Shelly and Grace, my other two author alters, they would love to, they've been talking with Maris. I know that because they've been in the chapel with her, but at the same point, they're more like, what I've heard from Shelly is they're more just sitting with her. They're not saying anything. They're just sitting there in prayer as Maris reflects. And then some of our other altars are sort of interacting with the other altar. But the best way we can describe her is like the mean girl, which isn't true. It's just how we viewed her, or like how she appeared. So it's just she's discovering more about herself, while one of our sisters, like they're nuns. Like we had two nuns in the system. One of them is fusing. One of them kind of became a new role. But yeah, she's going in and just communicating, but yet I can't. I know I see her go in, but I can't do anything about it, kind of thing. But it's just been so cool to see, like, so there's the fusion between those three altars, and then there's other smaller changes going on in the system. So, like, the other sister, one of the, I guess, original, like, there's one of the altars, I'm sharing a lot, but one of the altars was originally, like, there were, I think, originally 5 people, and then they split off. But this one person split into 2 different parts, which is the nighttime person and this other person. This other person has been evolving. I don't know if that's the right word, but she's been changing to become her new state. Yeah, it's everything right now is going really good. We've been feeling so at peace right now, and we've been struggling at feeling like peace. But ever since this last week, like for this week and part of the week before, not really the part before, but I would say ever since the 20th, we've really been like feeling at peace. We've been feeling like really good about ourselves, which is really, really awesome to say, just because like our family was worried about us. Some of our friends were worrying about us, just because like we were going through some stuff. Like last October, we went into the mental health hospital just because we were dealing with too much. And it's been like a 2-year program, like not a 2-year program, but like every 2 years we go into the mental hospital, and like we felt like we were just on this repeat cycle, but it feels different this time. Like it felt different, yes, when we went there, but like right now we just feel different. Maybe it's because it's becoming more sunny outside and we can actually go out for walks. I'm not sure. It just feels better. Yeah. So I'll try to keep you updated on how mental health wise we go, but that might just be like the wrap up videos kind of thing. I'm gonna take a little break, and then we'll kind of go more into books that I'm reading. That's kind of like, because like I feel like the books are the next thing that I can relate with because they're more spiritual books. So let's get into it. Okay, so the books that we've been reading. Okay, so first of all, it's Lent time right now. Basically, like I said, we're getting back into our faith, and Lent just happens to be the perfect time for us to get back into our faith and also reading. So we have like been reading a lot of like religious books and watching a lot of religious videos online about like people's different testimonies and stuff, which feels like it's invigorating us. Like I said, like we've always had like a connection to our spiritual side, and like even though we didn't actively go to church for like 4 to 5 years, we still had a connection to it. Like we would still go to the cemetery, we would still like pray at night, like there was still that connection. Like we never stopped fully, but it felt like we did to outside people. But yeah, so we've been getting into the reading our books. And so we have this red little notebook here. We got these notebooks at, I believe, Dollar General. They were in a pack of 3, and we had 3 of these, and I think they cost like $4 or $5 for the 3 notebooks. And so we just got a whole bunch of them. They're super cheap. It's just they have notebook paper that works for us, kind of thing. But we have been taking like notes on like, okay, so we're reading. Let me just flip to a page. Like, so not this page. Oh, we can do this page. Like, we have the title of the book, our day reading, and then some notes about it. And each book so far has a different color for highlighting in it. But we were able to finish one book this month, which was my personal journey to finding God. This is by a local author. Her name is Bernice. I loved her book. I loved getting to like see how other people's conversion story, how they became more religious in their faith, because I just feel like everyone has that moment in life where they're like, I do believe, but how active like in my faith am I, kind of thing. So it's just nice to see how things are, how people evolve, you know. And Bernice recently passed away. I think she passed away at the age of like 98, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. But she recently passed away. I wish I could have been in, like, I wish I had finished this book earlier, because I got it back in like 2022 maybe, and I just never read it. It was more like something someone told me to buy, so I got it. But I finished reading it. It was a great read. I think I journaled like almost 11,000 words of just reading. Like, reading it, I would be like, okay, this is like something I took, like I said, I would have notes on it, and then I would be like, okay, let's take a look at this and be like, how do I feel about it? And yeah, it was just really interesting to see. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And now I am currently reading The Amazing Secret of Purgatory. This is by Sister Emmanuel, an interview with Maria Sima. Maria is like, I don't want to say psychic because that's not the right word. But she has a gift of seeing lost souls, and she just talking about how the lost soul, like how what happens to us after we die, kind of thing, and how like purgatory is basically a place for us to get cleansed before we go to God's embrace. And it's just super interesting to read. I'm actually planning on buying 2 copies of this. I found this on Amazon. I think originally this one I got at my local bookstore, my local Catholic bookstore. But since they've got new ownership, they don't have any of these. But I think I'm going to buy 2 copies of this. One for my grandma and one for my sister, because I was talking to her about this book last night, and she's like, I would love to read that, because she wonders what's going to happen to us after we die, so it would just be nice for her to read it too. I would give her this copy, but like I said, I highlight inside of it, and the red highlights, I don't know, it just feels like what I take out of it is more personal for me, and I don't want to necessarily share that with her. I don't know. But my sister, I'm, like, she's even grateful that I've been getting better, like, she's been seeing my growth, and she also is like, she's happy that I'm getting back into my faith, and I'm happy too. And so it's just nice that we can connect on that kind of thing. But I suspect I might finish this book. I plan on reading some. I don't know if I will, because it's already like 12 o'clock. But I plan on reading some of this today and probably tomorrow too. So this book might be done by March 1st. I don't know. Just because it's like a super short read. But for the month of March, I think I'm going to start reading this book, The 3 Ordinary Voices of God. I was doing a little reading on the back of this, and I was just like, what are the 3 ordinary voices that you hear? And so it was like, it says our needs, our talents, and our desires. That's how God speaks to us best. I don't know exactly how that is portrayed, but we'll find out. I also was looking at other books, like, so I got this copy from my local church. They have a free little library back there that you can pick up books and read it. And I realized that Matthew Kelly has a lot of written books about different spirituality, like not different spiritualities, but just a lot of different books about different, looking at the Catholic faith a little bit different. And so I'm like, that is something I would love to read. And I'm also got a book, hold on, I gotta get it out. This is another book that I have. It is Do Something Beautiful for God. This is the essential teachings of Mother Teresa. I'm sure you know who Mother Teresa is. I don't know how best to describe her anyways. But I'm reading this. It basically has like every day listed out in like a thing to note about and think about. But I'm reading this every day on top of my notebook, like on top of my journaling after my prayer, and then after my Bible in a year, do whatever. Like, I try to do that as much as possible. Um, but yeah, I'm having a lot of, no, I don't want to say fun, but actually I'm having a lot of fun with this. Lent is supposed to be a time, like, Lent is basically my time to get better in my faith. Just really start loving myself again and loving my faith. Yeah, I've also been doing the Bible in a year, which is a podcast that Father Mike Smith does. And it's been really nice listening to it and getting to understand the Bible a little more. Yeah, I've just had a super blast. I've actually entered so with the Bible in a year, it follows the Great Adventure timeline, Great Adventure Bible timeline or something like that. And I'm on the third, I believe, I'm on the third, like, section, and yeah, I'm doing that. I'm on day 65. I've got a little notebook that I journal, like, write some notes on and stuff. But yeah, I'm having so much fun with that. I also, recently, I've started this notebook. And I think I'm going to start writing, like, just taking notes about my own conversion story, just so then one day I can publish it and be like, you know, just have it in the world. Just because I find, like I said, I find everyone's journey so interesting, and, like, I don't think necessarily I have, like, this huge story to tell, but there's definitely something to say about, like, somebody like me who has some sort of dissociative disorder, and I feel like a lot of people with some sort of dissociative disorder, I feel like, just based on my research of watching different people on YouTube, they feel disconnected to their spiritual faith, if that makes sense. Or they just have different faith than me. And I feel like with the Catholic religion, like, mental health isn't talked about, and, like, mental health has always been a weird topic for me because I live in the middle of nowhere. But I would love to, like, inspire others to be like, because, like, I learned in my last mental health stay at the hospital, I learned that, like, there's 3 parts, and even in Bernice's book, there are 3 parts to every person. There's the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. And to heal, those 3 things need to be in synchrony. Like, they need to be worked on together. And, like, I was struggling for 20 some years of my life, but I'm gonna get my physical back in shape, like, get back in my physical body, like, not physical body, but, like, getting back to healthy body with walking. I have a doctor's appointment in March for to get my weight under control, which I think has a lot to do with my hormones. So hopefully with that, my hormones can level out and I can lose weight, or at least be healthier. And then my emotional, I've been in therapy since I was 18. And now with my spiritual, I'm, like, I don't want to say fully jumping in, but I'm fully jumping in with my faith. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of things that, I don't know, like, my Catholic faith I've been loving so much, and, like, that's probably why I'm writing Catholic books right now, is because I'm in love with this faith. I'm in love with who I am. I'm in love with God. Like, this is all who I'm meant to be. And, like, I will even say, like, I've been praying, like, 2 rosaries a day, pretty consistently, just because, like, 1 rosary is for me to reflect on the whatever mystery I'm on, and the decades that it has. And then I also reflect, like, I do one at night for Lent, like, in the evening time for my regular time, and I'm doing it dedicated to one of my old classmates. In this town, I originally had 8 classmates that we were, like, that class, but then we consolidated, but I'm doing those 8 class members, family, and yeah, it's so cool. I'm on the 4th one now. But I will say, I'm going to see if this actually is still broken or not, but I was praying yesterday with this rosary, and it kept breaking, and I was like, dude, what is going on? Like, it wasn't necessarily breaking, but, like, one of the metal links to it like they aren't really attached too well, so like it unhooked itself. And I was like, what is going on? So I talked to one of my friends who's really been like such a spiritual person for me to like connect with. She's like, that means you need to get a new rosary or you need to fix it. But I was like, I was googling like, what does it mean when your rosary breaks in the middle of your prayer? And they were like, it's because you're praying too much, or it's like representative of growth. If that, I think that was what it is. And I'm just like, I do feel like I'm growing and stuff. But yeah, spiritual life really getting better. Yeah, it's been good. Now we're gonna go and I'm gonna take a little break again because this is a 12-minute clip, and I'm going to talk more about writing since this is a writing channel. So let's get into it. Okay, so how has the writing been and how many words and stuff like that? So this month we did a lot of work in our JJ project, which is our young adult Christian fiction book that Grace writes. We were doing edits for it. We originally wanted to have these edits done by the 14th and have Act 2 sent off to our editor. Act 2 is written, but we just haven't edited it before we sent it to her. So, hopefully by the end of March, we'll have that sent off to her just because it needs to be sent off so we can continue writing. The problem is this month was like we were focusing so heavily on editing, like we were editing JJ's story and we were also editing book 8, and it was just like way too much stuff going on, and we just couldn't do it. We haven't even edited book 8 yet, which is a book for Shelley. Like, we just, like, for Shelley, we're not planning on releasing any books until, like, 2027, 2028 time. But we want to get the books as done as possible, or at least get caught up on them. And, yeah, let's just say the edits are taking a lot of work right now because book 8, we're doing, like, a complete rewrite of the beginning, and probably a lot of it just because we're taking it in a different direction. Yeah. And we also we try to get in contact with our beta reader to see if she would read the book, once it's done, and we haven't gotten back from her, and I'm just like, that's kind of unfortunate because I'd like to have some other person's feedback. But I don't know, we'll just see. But yeah, so, we also finished one of our picture books. We restarted doing the picture books for Grace Kits, for her pen name. We did one on St. Francis of Assisi, and we are going to be sending that off to a priest after we get in contact with them, like just one of our local priests after we see a physically talk with him. Yeah, we're wanting to do that, and hopefully get a traditional publisher with it. I think we'll send off to the local priest and be like, hey, could you read this, give me your feedback and stuff, kind of like they're my beta readers, and see what they say, and maybe after that go into publishing, like traditional querying, which it's not going to be traditional querying, it's going to be more like cold calling, well, not cold calling, but cold emails to local Catholic, not local, but Catholic publishing houses to see if I could do it. Yeah, but I'm having a lot of fun. But let's quickly talk about the word count. So I do plan on doing like a little bit of writing today, but it's not going to really change the word counts today. Like not too much, I don't think. But so for the month of February, I wrote 21,109 words. I worked for 33 hours, which that's just a rough estimate. And I worked for 17 days out of the month, which I think is good. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like those are pretty good word counts, especially considering I was editing and stuff, so I feel pretty good. Yeah, been good. I think this year, I've almost written 60,000 words, I think. Or it's just like 59,000 words, but I can't remember, so almost 60,000. But yeah, that's awesome. So now let's talk about March's goals. This is going to be the tail end of this video. Let's talk about March's goals. So my first goal for March, which should happen because I had this planned out, but I'm going to be reading book 4 of the Bugstopia PD series, The Surge of Power, on the Author Shelley YouTube page. I'll get this done hopefully by the end of March. There might be days that I miss, so it might get pushed back, or there might be super long chapters that I'll just have a separate day. I don't know. We'll see. I would also like to edit Act 2 of JJ's story, and get that sent off to my editor. I plan on doing that in the second half of the month, or like, I have that planned to work on from the 8th until the 31st. Then I would like to work on the edits for book 8. I would like to do that in the first week of the month, just so it's done. And then the other goal is to journal some more. But I would like to do 3 more picture books, just to have them done. I think the ones that I'm feeling called to do is the Mother Teresa, Saint Michael the Archangel, and I'm between Saint Bridget or Saint Teresa the Little Flower, I think is what her name is. I can't honestly remember. But those are 3 that I am thinking about. If I can do more, that'll be awesome. I'm just doing low minimums here. Also, I would like to send books to schools. That stack over there are books that I can send off to schools to get hopefully into school visits and stuff. We'll see. And obviously, I want to read. Yeah, that's kind of. I know this last clip has been short. This last clip has been short, but yeah, that's kind of how things are going. I'm really looking forward to the month of March. I'm not sure how regular the videos are going to be. I might take a step back away from videos like I've been doing the last couple weeks. Strictly because weather's getting nicer. My dad and I might be starting to work on the house, because it's our project for the year. And, yeah, so I might just be taking a step back. Yeah, but that's kind of all I got to say. I hope you guys all enjoy. I will see you guys next time. And remember to keep making fantasies come true, one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!